Yo, all right, we are go time. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, where you may be in the world. Yeah, dude, it's been way too long. Yeah, man, Sony's good, dude. Oh, it's good. Oh, buddy. Yeah, man. It's been a while. Um, yeah, we are back though. Can't forget about hanging out with the Pixo crew. Um, been having a lot of fun lately. As you see, I've started blocking out a new character. I'm going to. So I did a couple of personal streams last weekend where I started this character. So if you are interested in going back and watching it from the get go, more than welcome to go back on to my channel, Brendon Isaiah Bengtson, on Twitch and check that out. But I'll go through like just really quickly what I did, and then we'll start going from there. What's up, everybody? As always, always happy to answer questions as we go, give advice, those kinds of fun, awesome things. But yeah, let's jump in, man. Um, so where did I start with this guy? What is this guy, and where's the concept from? So I haven't actually had a whole lot of chance to play Horizon Zero Dawn yet, but I love the artwork. The artwork is just phenomenal. Some of the concept designs that are coming out that were published were freaking amazing, right? So I was like, what better way to practice than to take amazing concepts and work on them? It's personal project anyway, so what the heck, man? Might as well. Already got awesome concepts. So today, um, well, more than just today, but I'm looking at a concept from Adrian Wilkins, and let's see, it was a collaboration. Actually, you know what? I'll just show you guys. How about that? How about we just do it? Talk about it. Just do it. So, this is concepts from Adrian Wilkins, who does some awesome work. Let's see, he also did this in collaboration with Tim Lochner, and I'm gonna just murder the name. I'm sorry. Andrzej Skuja, I guess is his name. So they did these three guys for Horizon Zero Dawn. I was just like, you know what? That'd be awesome practice. So I'm actually gonna be working on this guy. dope, dope, dope stuff. Con guy, what's up, man? War Machine, what's going on? QT Curls, what's going on? All right, so that's what we're working with. What you working with? All right, so then basically I have that guy up behind my screen, so I can just do this little see-through and just take a peek at the actual concept as I move it along. All right. Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, well, yeah. I'll give the tips that I can. So basically, what I did was the way the industry is going right now, AAA studios, so many studios are working from scans. It's ridiculous. So um, I know there's a lot of different opinions out there. My personal opinion is work from scans. Be able to do the anatomy, be able to do it first off, but then don't recreate the wheel every single time. Work from a scan. I mean, if it gets you to the end that much faster, awesome. Why create a super detailed base mesh every single time? Don't. So basically, what I did is I've been using 3D Scan Store. Awesome website. where you can pick up heads and bodies and all kinds of fun stuff. So basically what I did was I neutered this guy. Just kidding. So basically what I started with a scan, and then I was like, okay, well, what's the body type? I want to change the body type. So basically what I did was I just sculpted the different body type. Yes, yeah, right. Everybody knows that face. So I haven't done the face yet, just to be able to say, like, you guys know that this is a scan because everybody knows this dude's scan. So anyways, I sculpted out just a really rough body type, and then just went right from there. Just started blocking in armor and stuff. So start with the base mesh, get you that much faster. I'd say probably at this point I spent about 6 hours to get to this point. That's way faster than if you're doing it by hand. And usually anytime that you're working in a studio, you'll have a base mesh anyways that have like UVs already laid out and that type of thing. So don't be afraid of it. Use it, embrace it, and use it to make good stuff faster. So yes, pants are Marvelous Designer. So basically what I did is I took this guy and brought him into Marvelous Designer, and just created a super simple set of pants, like super simple, and then I just used some internal lines with elastic, right? And that's what got me those types of folds, right? So there's one on the bottom, and then there's one right in the middle. So, did that, and then I was really focused mostly on just having these nice vertical folds. Thanks, man. So just super nice vertical folds. I know I was going to go and change most of this down here to fit into these boots, right? So like we have just one major rope in here, I guess you could say, and then the rest would just fit right into his boots. So I was like, okay, just need some nice vertical folds. So got that going, and then just exported it right to ZBrush. Super easy. And then what I did for the armor pieces, I'll go ahead and create probably just this piece again real quick and show you how I did it. It's basically the same process for all of these pieces that I have right now. So also we'll create clothing over a posed character Marvelous. Yeah, that's basically exactly what I did. I just took come on, where is he? I just took this guy, he's posed, and then I exported him, and then when you're in Marvelous Designer, all you have to do is just do import OBJ. Just grab whatever OBJ it is, and then do load as avatar instead of as garment, right? So you do load as avatar, and then boom, that's your avatar. Super easy. So yeah, that's exactly what I did. Yeah, you can do it asymmetrically. Same thing. You just pose whatever character that you want in whatever pose, and then just export it just the same way. Same way. All right. So basically, what I did was, I'll go ahead and we'll just recreate this guy, this piece again. All right. So I took the body, and I've been basically just using the extract method, where I'll mask out a section, do extract, and then that will get me a piece like this. So if that's where I'm heading, I'll show you real quick. Question. I'm new to ZBrush and interested in characters, environments, and creatures. What would you say would be a good source of tutorials to get me started, especially with anatomy? I've tried your channel, Grissetti's tutorials, and Z Classroom. Any ideas? I mean, that's a really, really great start. If you're going through Z Classroom, like Grissetti's anatomy stuff, it's very nice. The other thing too is I think Jason Martin who's the lead character artist from id Software, is actually going to be doing a class right now, or soon, on, I think it's Game Art Institute, maybe? Anyways, just do a quick search for Jason Martin um, ZBrush class, and he's doing something very soon. Really, really awesome. Again, yeah, Scott Eaton is amazing. Take a look at Bodies in Motion .photo is a really great resource for learning anatomy. Maybe not so much ZBrush, but more kind of anatomy. It's great. When I'm part of my OBJ, it's too damn tiny. Yeah, con guys. So like when you do the import, I would just try a couple of different ones. Try feet. Try millimeters. The other thing that you can do, which what I do a lot, is I'll go into like Moto and create a sizing stick, I guess you could say. Right, so I'll create something that is, I think this was 6 foot, measured out in ZBrush. I mean, in Moto, and then I imported that into ZBrush along with my pieces, and then now I know that when I export that, it should be the same size. But I'm using feet, so when I come in and import, just make sure that you use feet in the settings. Cool. Imported body, T-pose, crazy, yes. Yeah. Okay. So, let's do this again real quick like. So let's just hide these bad boys real quick. And then let's hide these guys real quick. Alright. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to get just the shape. And you know what, I'm going to turn these guys off too. Okay. So I get it subdivided to a decent subdivision so that when I create my mask on here, it's actually, you know, it's not something like this where like there's not enough topology to hold a decent mask. So I'll just, if I have something, I'll just subdivide it once or twice, just to get enough on there, right? So let me look at the concept real quick. All right, so we got a piece that kind of comes up here, right, and then probably just wraps around, and I'm sure it probably just maybe goes down like halfway down the forearm, so it'll probably have some really nice sculpting, like on the elbow, right? So that's the basic shape. So I'm just going to grab that. Let's say it comes down here, wraps around the bicep this way. What's your request on improvement of ZBrush? What are you want from Pixelogic very firstly? I mean, honestly, probably, like, it's so crazy. Like, every time Paul or Joseph gets on one of these streams where they're showing us awesome, cool stuff, it's like, dude, how did I not know that was there? My God, all the time that I've spent in ZBrush and I didn't know that particular thing was there. What the hell? It's crazy. Like, I always joke, like, you know, we don't even need 4R8 because, you know, all we need is like some time with Paul or Joseph, and it's like a whole brand new ZBrush because they're showing us things that I had no idea was there, and that just blows my mind. You're like, wait, what? So, the yeah. I think probably the biggest thing that I want is an easier way to handle the like hundreds of subtools that you can get. That's probably my biggest request, or the thing I'm waiting for the most. But I don't think that probably will come until 5, probably, because they have to do, like the base coding and everything, and yeah, it's probably not going to come before 8. But that's probably my biggest gripe. Okay, so we got the area, right? And then we just use extract. So, quick second about my interface. If you guys are relatively new to ZBrush, you can people kind of get a little intimidated by my UI. Don't don't be too crazy. Like, basically what I do is I just take everything from the tool palette in here that I use all the time and throw it onto my tool palette. For a couple reasons. One is that I hate having to like go through and like find the thing that I need to do. So I just pull out the things that I use all the time, right? So it's just right there. The other reason why I have it up is so that the secondary reason is because it reminds me of different workflows. I'm like, oh right, I can do polygrouping to do, you know, that thing that I wanted to do, or like I can see really quickly if I have subdivisions on, or oh yeah, I can use the extract method, or my quick subtool stuff where I can merge and append and all that stuff. Polish by groups, I just started using. Oh, did I have that morph target on? Yes, I did. Okay, I can set that. My mask. Oh, I can see that I do have a mask on. UVs, I have UVs, perspective and stuff. So it's mostly just to like visual reminders as well as reminders of workflow. So, yo, Thomas, what's up, buddy? About the features, you can browse the What's New guide found in the documentation folder of ZBrush. You can find a lot of useful information there. Yes, you can. You can also look at the Twitch page, Pixelogic's Twitch page on replays, as well as their Pixelogic's YouTube page. They have replays of all the streams. Go back and watch any of them. I'm sure that you'll see all kinds of workflows and stuff. But specifically, watch Paul Gaber's or Joseph Drust's their streams. Man, they just so much knowledge from those guys. Anyways, all right. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the extract method, and I think extract is in. Here we go. So it's in subtool extract. That's what I'm using right here. So, all right. So basically, I'm just going to do it, and so that'll show me a preview of what that extract will be. So I can just. So if I move around, it will take away the preview. If I hit extract again, it'll show me again. So basically what I want to do is I'm just looking at the thickness, and it actually has the previous thickness that I was using, which is good. So 0.0035. That's pretty good. I like that thickness. I don't want it to be too thick like this, like butcher apron leather. I want it to be a little bit more of a thin leather. So I guess that's okay. So I'm just going to hit accept. And then now it creates a new subtool for me. There's my subtool. And what's really awesome is that it gives me some nice polygroups, right? We got a nice edge loop going on there. Basically, the only thing I'm interested in is this outer, the outer polys. So I'm going to hide all the outer polys. Just like that. I'm going to inverse that. So I have just the outer, and then I'm going to delete it. I'm just interested in these outer pieces. Alright, so now what I can do is, let's make sure that they're all the same polygroup. So I'm just going to do group visible. These are all my polygroup stuff, so you can find those under tools, polygroups. And that's just basically most of the settings that I use in this one. So that's where all these are. Super easy. Alright, so now I have something that has decent edge flow, but it's still super kind of wonky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this polish by groups, which is under deformation. polish by groups, right? I'm just going to use that a couple of times, and it's just going to kind of clean up my edges a little bit. Right, you see that kind of like evening, good evening, those those out. So once I have it like a little bit smoother, then I'm just going to go and just do a quick remesh on it. So I'm going to go into Geometry, Z Remesher. I'm going to, let's say, I mean, that's decent, I guess. Maybe we'll start with 5,000. I usually try to take my adaptive down to about 20. And then I'll just try it real quick and see what comes out. That's decent. What I'm really looking for is a couple of edge loops that go around, like all the way around, which is good. Because what I'm going to end up doing is using those edge loops to create like this larger mass piece out here. Right, we got nice even topology along that side. Right, and then now what I'm going to do, so they do a couple of different things. So anytime you go over, you hover over something, if you hold Control, it'll tell you what it actually does. So it's it will try to create square or non-square polys, right? So it's basically saying if you have this down to 0, it's going to try to make all of your polys square. If you have it all the way up, then you can have like long, thinner ones or whatever, right? And then the curve strength will try to adhere to the curves that you already have in there. So you can try it again, right? So like maybe like we have like some of this pinching back here. I don't really care too much at this point because I'm just trying to get some nice even topology. Maybe we'll try, maybe that's a little bit better. Doesn't matter, I'm probably going to Dynamesh it anyways. So I just want something decent in there just to start with. Mostly because I'm going to use panel loops to create the thickness. Right, so you notice that that I took out all the innards. So now that I have this nice, really quick topology, I could just use panel loops. And I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so panel loops, let's just say 5 for now. I want this to go in, so I'm going to take my elevation down to -100. So basically what that's going to do is it's going to leave this plane here, and then when it extrudes it, it's going to go in instead of coming out. Right? So you can do 0 or whatever you want to do. All right, so I'm just going to do that. All right, and it just gives me some nice thickness to it. Right? Nice, even thickness. Maybe I'll take my bevel down to like, let's try bevel to 20. Sure. So that's basically what I did for all of these pieces. And it's just, again, it's just to get something down so that you can start working on, where's that other piece? There we go. Just a base mesh. Right, so then you can extract, or Dynamesh from there and just start sculpting. All right, so I'm going to work on a little bit of the proportions. I feel like his head is just a touch too small. He's like really kind of more of a squat guy, right? So that's, you can tell because he's got kind of like large hands and large feet and a large head, so it makes his body feel like a little bit more squat. The pants wireframe, it's just the wireframe that comes in quadrangulated from Marvelous Designer. Nothing crazy yet. I'm probably just going to, once I have some decent shapes on there, maybe divide it a couple of times and do a little bit of sculpting, I probably will just do a remesh, like duplicate it, remesh it, and then just project down to it again. So right now it's nothing special for that. Alright, so I'm going to grab his head and make his head just a touch bigger. So again, this is sculpted a little bit from that scan. Basically what I did though is I split it from each other so that I can have a decent topology for the body independent of changing the topology on the head. Because the head has lots of subdivisions and really nice information from the scan that I can still use. So that's why I split that off. Why are you leaving the head separate for poly control? What? I didn't even read your question, Ardov. Answered it all like that. Yeah. Alright. So let's work on his head size. I'm just going to just grab something like that. I feel like I just want to just, not too much. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? First is I'm going to duplicate this and then turn on ghosting. Ghosting is in transform ghost, transparent. So now what I can do is I can, I don't want too much bigger, just a touch. See if that feels better. That already feels a little bit better. So it makes it like the size of the head really affects what the body feels like. I may not merge it in the end. So what I did was I made sure that the seams between the head and shoulders was hidden as much as possible. So I put it here because I know I'm going to have some belts and stuff that go over those areas. And then when I do baking later on down the pipeline, I can just change that. I can fix that in the map if I need to. Okay, that feels better. It feels a little bit better. I think his feet are a little bit too small as well, but whatever. What's up, Tractor? Bro, do you even lift, bro? Bro. Alright. Let's turn these guys back on. Basically, it's the same thing as this piece. It just duplicated and moved it over there. Alright, I was going to change this. So looking at it from before, he still looks a little bit more muscular than like kind of like big and flabby. So I'm looking at, yeah, dude, definitely. What I'm looking at is the values of the colors that are in here, right? There's not a whole lot of shaded here, right? So this looks a little bit more flat than what I have it, right? So it kind of leads to like the bigger belly and more of kind of flat, flabby chest. New question, do you use the polish by features or any polish at all in the deformation section when extracting pieces? Yeah, so I use polish by groups a lot. So that's why I have it out here. I don't really use the other polish by features or polish by polish crisp edges too much. Creating a size staff kind of thing. I know that very easy to create rectangle geo, but want to know about measurement and much more. Yeah, basically you just go into like Modo or Max or Maya, and then just create a box and use the measurements to create the size that you want, and then just export that. Super quick, man. Super quick. Alright, so this guy. So another reason why I do this method for the armor pieces is that if I ever really need to go back, right? So like one of the things that I absolutely hate is when you're, moving things around and it's starting to kind of like affect the thickness. I hate when that happens. So by doing this in the blockout stage, I can always just hide everything else, right? Delete it, and then just do panel loops again to create that piece. So it's a really quick and easy way to get back to that like standard thickness during the blockout phase if you need to. So I'm just going to try and just even this out a little bit. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that I subscribe to the idea that if you can nail um, the nips, if you can nail a concept like super quick in the blockout phase and all the proportions look awesome and like all like the key elements look good, then you're polishing awesome, You're polishing awesomeness, not polishing a turd. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? So I think it's super important to spend a little bit of extra time in the blockout phase and make sure that everything just looks and feels right, um, because that's the way to go. And actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and delete that back piece, which I'm okay with. And maybe not yet. So maybe I'm going to take a look at his body real quick, and then let's just superpower gut. One of the things that I was also noticing is that in order to get this correct, I feel like his anatomy has got to be more correct. So I'm going to focus on the anatomy first, and maybe just make things a little bit more flabby. Flabby pabby. Alright, maybe this is kind of like bulging out a little bit more. Maybe not so much definition here. Got power nips is what he's got. Alright, so maybe we'll just move some of this down. Again, I go pretty quickly in between some of my favorite brushes, so if you're interested in whatever I'm using, just keep an eye out up here. It'll show you. Maybe we'll just flatten this out a little bit. Alright, maybe we're not going to see too much of the deltoid back here. What's the most important concept to nail while sculpting? Probably the concept. Sorry. What part are you talking about? What part of the concept do you need to nail? I think just really paying attention and kind of like understanding how to study, I guess, is really, really important, right? Like when I'm looking at this concept, master password. Let's just take that over there. Okay, got it. When I'm looking at this, like what I want to do is I want to know like how to study. Like so what are the things that make this guy, right? Like and pay attention to those things, right? He's kind of like squat. Okay, well, why is he squat? Well, he's got a big head and big hands and big feet, and a big belly, right? So that those proportions, I already know by studying anatomy a lot. I know that that's why he feels squat, right? The other things are what make character his character. You know what I mean? Like, okay, he's got a big belly, or he's got like this. What are some of the important things about his costume that make him stand out from anybody else? He's so the important things to his costume are his super baggy pants mixed with a lot of really heavy leather, mixed with like tied on armor pieces or metal pieces. Right, so it's like a juxtaposition between like super high-end, like designed, machine designed metal, and like kind of rough stitched together leather, right? So it's those things kind of playing off each other that make it really interesting, right? So baggy pants, hard thick leather, hard surface with high design versus like low design, and squatness, right? So those are the things that make this character this character. So just by knowing how to study that and knowing what makes that character that particular character, going through there, I want to make sure that I start nailing those particular things, right? So I want to make sure that his proportions are right, um, that the leather feels really thick, versus like kind of a flowy cotton, right? And that the armor pieces feel like they're like low tech. You know what I mean? Um, and then just getting the proportions right. Like um, when you're looking at this guy, like, all right, well, where does this piece fit into, where does it connect up here? Okay, well, that's probably right about there where it starts curving down, right? What is it, this is a little bit more drooped, right? I think it's a little bit too drooped on this guy. Um, what are some of the other things? Like how far down does this side piece go, just above the boots, right? Where's the knee compression? Those types of things, right? So it's getting like what defines the character, and then making sure that you nail those particular things on the block out. Then everything from there, once you get all that and it feels like that character at low res, then that's the majority of the work, That was my long-winded answer. Okay, so maybe what we'll do is we'll just bring that down a little bit more. Again, you can always adjust your lighting. That's why I have this out here, so I can really quickly just adjust my lighting to fit what I need to, which is really nice. And again, this is probably something you want to do before you start doing all the armor. Cool, man. All right, now what I want to do is I want to mirror and weld. There we go. So I knew that something was off here because that doesn't look like that, and I know that my body's symmetrical. So I'm just going to grab this guy, do a mirror and weld, and it was that part that was off. All right, and then I can just grab this dude. I'm already on that. And then maybe I'll just move this out just a little bit. And I forgot to turn on Symmetry. So just mirror and weld again. My phone go? Where'd my phone go? That's way over there. I don't get it. Okay. And the other really nice thing is about keeping your armor pieces this low to start with during the blocking phase, is that it's really easy to change. Right? It's not super high res, and it's got a you have your different polygroups, so that if you need to redo the thickness, it's really like basically one step process. Something like that. Like I feel like this needs to come in a little bit more. Looking at this, right, we have kind of almost a 90 degree, maybe like a, I don't know, a little bit less. I feel like it's a little bit too rounded there. So maybe let's just delete that again. we'll delete the inside, so we just have the outside there. Maybe we'll just pull this guy in. Like so. And I don't care about the topology too much, because I'm just going to go back and just do a quick Z-remesh. Easy, 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 easy. Doing a quick Z-remesh. Boom, look at that. Nice! Even that out a little bit. Alright, then I'm ready. I could just go back to edge loops and just do another panel loop. What I want to do maybe is take the polish down, or polish off. There we go, and then that'll keep that edge. So what you notice is if I do have the polish on, it's similar to doing like polish by groups, where it starts kind of like evening out all those shapes. Polish will do the same thing here, just doing the same thing. So I want to keep the polish probably just down to off. Mirror and weld. That feels a little bit better. Right? Super easy. Okay, let's grab this. We'll just pull this up. Alright, so why am I... Symmetry just keeps going off. So I feel like this is a little bit too wavy. I just basically pulled it off the shoulder, and that's why it's a little bit wavy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete everything again. So let's just do delete hidden, and then maybe do some polish by groups a little bit. Let's just do a quick Z-remesh. Instead of doing 5, which is, this is 5,000 polygons, maybe I'll just do half. Take my adaptive size down. Do half twice, and then I got some decent topology there. Alright, and now what I can do is just go through and... Yo, Sora, what's up, buddy? I'll just do a quick smooth on this. Something like that, maybe... Maybe we'll do polish by groups a little bit. That's alright. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll just move these pieces in a little. How you doing, Sora? Long time no see, buddy. How's life? Alright, so I have a decent shape, and then I'll just do another quick panel loop on it. So I'm going to do negative. You too, man. It's been too long, buddy. Let's just do a quick panel loop. I don't want to do polish, so I'm going to take polish down. Polish? Yo, what's up, Japomo? How you doing, man? Yeah, that's fine. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, that was fine. Cool. Alright, so his arms are a little bit more flabby. Let's get back to just... I want to pull this back a little bit so it's a little bit more flat-chested, so it makes his belly stick out a little bit more. So right now it felt like a little too muscular. I want to make sure that it doesn't read as muscular, or reads more as kind of like brawny. Right? That's closer to it. And that's what my light is doing. So I can just move my light and say, okay. So really quickly I can look and see how much shadow I'm getting down here. Right? It already feels much better. Okay. So that's alright. So another thing that I wanted to cover real quick is how I would go about creating these metal pieces. Your first freelance, dude. Nice, man. Congrats, buddy. So looking at these pieces, done. Now you're back to personal work. I know, right? You're like, can I just go a little bit longer? That'd be awesome. But it feels good to get back to personal stuff. All right. So how do you go about creating this type of piece? Well, I'm looking at it, Mike. I can pretty quickly create that with the ZModeler brush. And I would probably start with a cylinder, right? So I can get that nice flat edge on top and then circular outer, right? So that's easy. I already created one, but I'll just go through creating it again real quick with you guys just to show you how I do it. So I'm just going to append. I'm just going to grab a cylinder. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Let's turn perspective off. Anytime I'm using the ZBrush brush, I will try to keep my perspective off so that I can create things symmetrically a little bit easier. So I'm just going to grab this, rotate it down. Let's move that, say, like up to here. I'm just going to grab my ZModeler brush, and then I'm going to come into delete, edge loop complete. I'm just going to get rid of these guys real quick. I don't need all these edge loops. Noon stuff, what's up, man? How's it going, buddy? Don't need these guys. Go back to my transform, my transpose tool, and then I'm going to use move to just create that thickness. Maybe something like that. What's up, Davis? How you doing, man? Okay. So, let's look at... Right, so we've got a couple of circles, right, that we got going through there. So I can just insert a couple of edge loops, and then I can just create, using QMesh, all of those little details in there. So what I'm going to do is, so one of the most important things for this part, because we're going to just QMesh a bunch of stuff straight through, so I want to make sure that whatever I do to one side is going to duplicate onto the other side. So I want to make sure that I set up my symmetry first. Right, so I just activate symmetry and it's X symmetry, so it's going to go across the X plane. What I want to do is I want to make sure that it's doing this side and this side at the same time. So I'm just going to go to transform and change that, I think, to Z. Right, there we go. So it's going to do the same thing to the front side as is to the back side. Back side? Yeah, man, I've been around for I've been away for a while. Too long, man. Too long. All right, so then now we're going to do insert single edge loop. All right, and then I'm going to create the thickness of the outside piece. All right, I want to make sure that it's doing the same on both sides. That's good. This distance is going to be that first negative space up there. Right, and then I'm going to need one more inside that I can just QMesh all the way through. Right, so those probably be about the same size. Right, so that's on this side, on this side. All I have to say is God bless QMesh. So good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and just mark these pieces, which will mark the same on that side. And then I'm just going to take that right through. What? Oh, yeah. And then what I'm going to do is, right, so we've got like this little piece that comes out. So I'm just going to go, say, oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think is what it is. If you just do a count, do some quick math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Ha ha ha! Yes. Alright, I'll just take that through. Boom. Look at that. What? So that's using QMesh. So if you go on to the surface, or the face, and you make sure it's on QMesh, and then I'm going to use polygroup all because I'm using those temporary polygroups, and I'll just keep all this the same. So basically what it does is, if it has, so this is why it's super important to have the symmetry on both sides, is that when you're pulling this through, it looks on the other side to see if there's similar geo. Right, so I can do it like that. QMesh life, bro. QMesh life. Or if I go all the way through and just keep pulling it, it knows that it's got the same geo on the other side, so it'll just create the hole for you. Yes. Life. QMesh is life. And then what I can do is just go, so I want to create these extra little pieces off the end. So I can just, again, just QMesh. Oops. So instead of polygroup, we're going to do a single poly. So I'm just going to take this guy. And I'm still holding this, and if I tap Alt, that'll give me different polygroups. Something like that. So this is not exactly perfect because you technically have like some fanning out of those pieces, but like these lines here are not quite right. You can fix them. I guess you can fix them. But I'm not too worried about it. These pieces are going to be small, so like when you look back here, you're like, oh, okay, that looks fine, whatever. So one of the other really cool things I love doing is going over point and do move, and then just do infinite XYZ. Basically, what that's going to do is, if you're snapped, right, and this point are right on top of each other, I can just move one of these points and it will look infinitely into the background and grab both of those points. So that's, like, again, why I don't use perspective. Turn perspective off when you're doing this. Alright, so I can quickly just go do that if I want to. So the really cool thing is it will remember what you did last, the operation that you did last for that particular element, right? So if I go in, so I want to make this distance consistent across all 4 of these. So I want to make sure that I don't do another QMesh after this, because all I have to do is come down here and just tap this once, and it will do the exact same distance. Tap once. Right? So, looking at this, so we've got like this nice little flange that comes off of here. So I want to make sure that I account for that real quick. Yeah, so start the extrude while you're still extruding. Just tap Alt, and it'll give you a new polygroup. So let's undo that real quick. Actually, I just want to create those two. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select, let's see, how far does it go? So it looks like it starts where the other 2 end pieces would be, and then just comes out, and then just flattens out. That's easy. So I would probably take, maybe let's take an extra one here. Let's just grab all of this from here to an extra one. Let's do QMesh. We're going to do polygroup all. I'm just going to pull that out just like that. Something like that. right? And the other really awesome thing is that you can combine tools. I love the fact that you can still use masking and moving and the regular transpose with all of this. Let's actually grab. I want to have that come out just a little bit further. Maybe there's good. Right? So then what I want to do is I want to have this be a little bit curved, but I want this portion to be flat, right? So basically what I can do is just grab my masking tool, and then we'll just mask these parts, right? Flip the mask, and then we'll grab my transpose tool, and then just flatten that out. What? Just like that. Clear the mask, and then I'll use my move infinite for points, so make sure it's snapped, and then it'll just pull those out like that. Done. Let's turn that off, make sure we're okay. Alright, now what we need to do is just make those little pinholes that are in there. Alright, got a couple little pinholes on each side. Those are super easy to make. Alright, so I'm going to use the point. Alright, so if I look, or split, so I'm going to use split point. But in order to do that, I need to make sure that I have a point right here. So in order to do that, I need to add another edge loop. So we'll just add a quick edge loop there. Alright, so now I have a point here. And all I have to do is, alright, so again, I want to make sure that my symmetry is on, so because I'm going to do the same Q mesh trick. So I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing to this side does it to this side, so I can just Q mesh it right through. So again, so grab point, split, point, and then I'll just create the hole, right? And again, I want this same exact size, so I'm just going to tap once. There we go. And then we'll just Q mesh, right? Polygroup all. Whoop! Done. What? And there's your piece. Super easy. Alright, so you can see I created another one earlier. So it was a little bit different. I feel like this one's a little bit better. So we're going to go with this one. So then what I'll do is... Oh wait, by the way, is the stream still doing okay? I just looked at my preview and like it's like super jacked up. We get a thumbs up. Is the stream doing okay? You guys can see my screen and hear me okay? Hopefully. Yes, you can. Looks fine. Okay. Dude, my looks weird. I'll show you guys. Like, this is what my preview looks like. That's freaking cool. Yeah. Okay, cool. In the pipe, 5 by 5. Okay, good. Alright, so then what I'll do is when I create a piece, I'll just leave this here, so if I ever need to go back and edit it, it's fine. So I'll just duplicate the pieces that I need. Turn the original off, or this is the original. Turn the original off, and then we'll take this up here, and then now we can just use scaling. Take that down, grab this guy, bring it up. Let's turn symmetry off now. Yeah, it's working okay. My CPU is fine, I think. I think it's just the preview. It's weird. I've never seen that happen though. Alright. So another reason why I always keep the original is that, especially if you're doing something at like this size, I kind of feel like this portion is a little bit too big, so I can always go back to the original and just adjust it real quick and then move those pieces into place. Alright, let's see what those look like. Maybe a touch smaller. Yeah, right. Oh, wait. So bring those in a little bit. So it's always good to... I feel like these pieces are just a little bit too thin, but I'm okay with it for right now. It's fine. Yeah, layers work too. Alright, so that works alright. Alright, so I feel like his body looks a little bit better. We sized the head, made that particular piece, and I think what I'm going to do is let's start doing some detailing on this actual chest piece. Okay, so what am I thinking? So we're gonna have to do some edge stuff, right? So we're gonna have to add some bulk up there. So what I think I may do is actually just use the Z modeler tool to Q mesh out those edge pieces all the way around. Might be a quick and easier way to do it. Yo, Ashley, what up? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. If you guys don't know A Cubed, Ashley, she is also another Pixelogic streamer, as well as her own private streamer. She does some awesome stuff. Be sure to check her out. I don't know, when's the next time you're on Pixelogic, Ashley? Give her a follow. Must. It's a must. Alright, so let's take a look and see what my geo looks like. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to remesh this thing real quick, because I probably want to... Oh, Nightbot. Bless your heart. Look at that. Ask and you shall receive. There's the schedule. So I want at least a couple of edge loops that go all the way around. The bottom looks okay, but what I really want is 2 edge loops that go around the top. That's really what I want. So what I'm going to do is let's just delete all of that. Yes, there she is. Alright, so let's delete hidden. Let's group visible again here. And then we're going to go back into Geo real quick. We're going to go into Z remesher. Let's do same. But I'm going to turn my adaptive size maybe down a little bit. Let's see what that does. No. Maybe turn the adaptive size up more. No. So sometimes I'll just come in here and try to get what I want. If not, whatever, it's not the end of the world. Maybe let's try half. Yeah, absolutely, Jacob. Definitely. Alright, let's do same. I feel like we're taking steps backwards. I'll just go ahead and use this. It's fine. So, what I'll do is I'm going to use poly loops. The same option. Yeah, same option. We'll try to keep the same amount of polys. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to, I feel like this edge loop is a little bit too close, so I could use the ZBrush and just come in here. So it says Alt to delete. So there we go. Just delete that. I'm okay at that. Alright, so then what I want to do is I want to go to QMesh, but instead of doing polygroup all, I want to do polyloop. Right? And then I want to make sure that this orange line, right? So if I do polyloop here, it's going to go up this way. If I do polyloop like this, it'll go around. And that's what I want. So I just want to create an extra bit there. Now this may throw some issues for for edge looping, for poly loops. So what I want to do is take this guy. Maybe we can do delete, and we can do poly loop, and then I should be able to delete that poly loop. And then I actually kind of want to do the same thing on this one because I want to control the depth. Alright, so now I'm just going to test out and do a poly loop, which is not going to work. I need to do poly loops first is what I need to do. Alright, so then let's do panel loops first is what I meant. Let's do panel loops first. And then we'll do QMesh poly loop. And then we'll just add some there. I'm just going to Dynamesh this, so I'm not really too worried about how everything is. Because I'm just going to start sculpting on it. So I kind of want to do the same thing on this one just to add. Alright, so maybe we'll actually do it on this one as well. Like that. I like that, that's fine. Maybe we can do it to that one as well. Yeah. That's a good start. Basically, I just want to that's fine. I just want to add a little bit of bulk around the outside, so then I don't have to do. Sorry. So initially, I did panel loops to get my thickness first, and then I used QMesh poly loop. Is what I did. All right. So then now we have that. Before we Dynamesh, let's duplicate it. So we'll grab. So usually what I'll do is I'll make sure that I keep this shape, and then I'll just throw that all the way down to the bottom. Turn that off. And then now this guy, not con guy, this guy. All right. So my thickness looks okay. I can always get back there if I really need to, because I'm keeping that other piece. Just pull this in a little bit. Alright, and then let's start doing, let's save, actually. We should probably save. Holy cow, it's 7:15 already? Where's time going? Alright. So now let's get into the fun. Let's get into the fun stuff. Come on. Finish saving. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's Let's actually turn this dude off for now. Okay. I doubt that's going to be enough. Alright, so let's try 256. 256. Gonna need more than that, maybe 512. Alright, that's a decent start. Alright, again, so like I was just using those to get me started with this thickness out here. That was a basic idea. That's why I wasn't really too worried about stuff. So let's turn my Z intensity down and let's just go through. Do a quick smooth. Get rid of some of those artifacts. And then we'll just start bulking this out. Alright. So it is symmetrical at this point, which I don't mind too much. We're just going to, let's take a look at, right, this is pretty thick on the outside, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sculpt both of these first, and then I'll just probably just damn standard that seam in there. So it goes down actually pretty far. So probably about that thick. So what I want to make sure that I'm doing though is I want to make sure that my back face mask is on, because I don't want that to happen. Back face mask is in, if you go to brush, auto masking, back face mask is right here. It's brush dependent, so that's why I pull it out to my workspace, so I can really quickly easy see if that's on for my clay buildup brush or whatever brush that I'm on. Alright, so let's just block this stuff in real quick. Again, I'm really just looking for the overall feel to make sure that I nail that first before I do any kind of detailing. Again, I always want to try to keep my details as low as possible. I actually feel like it's a little bit too much geo at this point, but whatever. So this, Tom, dude, what is up, buddy? Long time. I feel like it's a reunion up in this piece. Up in here. How you doing, man? Okay, I just want to kind of bulk this out a little bit. Tom, dude, where have you been, bro? Okay. And then we'll do, so we'll see, is it similar down here? It looks probably a little bit similar. So it looks like the outer ring is larger, sticks out more up here than the smaller one does, but it looks down here like those are almost even. Right there. Yeah, it's my suggestion. Anytime I'm teaching ZBrush, I always tell people forget everything that you've learned about 3D, because ZBrush is completely different. It's redefining. Okay. What's up, Andrew? How you doing, buddy? Mine is like, oh, I can't do that. Even Substance Designer, I can't do it. Yeah. So the basic idea, what I'm going to do here is just bulk this up enough and then take the damn standard brush. Let's smooth this out real quick first. We'll take this guy. Yeah, it definitely helps to see how other people work. Um, and somebody else was talking earlier about like what's a good way to go about learning ZBrush. I'd say probably other than like Z Classroom and like getting just your foundation stuff down, probably the most important thing to do is just watch people work, see what they do. Um, so Pixelogic's channel here on Twitch is a really, really good place to do that. Just follow and see how different artists tackle different issues and stuff. Z Classroom. Because everybody uses it a little bit differently. And, projects are different, so, like, the needs are different and all that fun stuff, so. Alright, so basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my damn standard, and I'm going to use Lazy Mouse. And I'm just going to, because I don't know if this is going to work. So I'm just going to try to see if this will work the way that I want it to. Alright, so this is the basic idea. So now we have two different seams, right? And then maybe I could just go in and add a little bit of variation in here. I think it's about to the point where I need to, once you start getting in here and like trying to do the smaller little bit of details and it's just getting a little bit too jagged, that's the point where you go up in resolution, but not before. Alright, so let's go back to damn standard. So I think that will work. This method will work for that down there. So I'm okay with that. I'm going to try it out on the top one because we have two different sizes and two different elevations. So I'm just going to see if that will work up here. Yeah, exactly. It's much better to work low to high than it is to go too high too fast, and then you're just battling yourself, you know. All right, and then what I think I can do is just go in here and do a little bit of sculpting through here. So again, I want to keep an eye or consider my methods, right, for how I want to approach things, right? So if something is like highly machined and you need to have like really good crisp edges, probably sculpting things by hand is not the best way to go, right? Because you're going to have natural deviations in size of objects or surface details. So that's going to work against you if you're doing something like highly machined, right? And super nice crisp lines. But if you're doing something like this where it's more organic, right, then use the by hand stuff to your benefit, right? So if I do stuff by hand, I'm going to get those natural variations of the surface detail. And that's actually what I want, right? So let that influence the method you use to create the thing that you're creating, right? So if I'm creating something more organic, I want to try to do something more sculpty by hand because the natural variations will help add to that organic feel, right? Where if I'm doing something super like highly designed and machined, I probably don't want to do stuff by hand. Right, so I got these like natural little variations that really lend to the whole organic feel. And again, this is just testing right now. I usually will try a couple of different areas just to see what my method will be. Oh, awesome 3D printed. Nice. Appreciate that. Look at that. It's me. It's me. And for Ashley, absolutely. All right. The other thing too, I want to look at the direction of some of this. Right? Does it go like straight up and down? Does it get like? Does it go long ways? It be you be. Right? So it looks like, for the most part, it goes kind of just straight. But it looks like I have some kind of variations in it. Right? We got like something a little bit more diagonal here. So it looks like it kind of has nice little variations in it. Alright, 3D. Thanks for coming by, buddy. Yo, Majuffin. What's up, man? So, we've got some of these, and then maybe, we've got something like this. Right? And it's again like this is why it's important to be able to like critically look and study the thing that you're working on, because it's those little details, right? So already that looks way better and like way closer to the feel of what that is, right? So pay attention to those little details. Yes, armor. All right, again, so, this is just still testing the method. I think I probably wouldn't do this until I go up just a little bit in detail, because it's some of these natural strokes that I want to keep in there. But that's pretty much how I'm going to do it. All right, and then I can probably go in and see how some of these little wrinkles are going, right? So it's going to be pulling from the belly to the side. And there's also a seam right here, right? So how am I going to handle the seam? Maybe we'll just do dam standard and just sculpt it in. Alright. And then maybe we'll just use the standard brush. Standard brush. There we go. Alright, we'll just do a couple of main ones and not go super crazy. Alright, and then we got maybe one kind of coming down this way. Alright, so again, I'm just trying to get the characteristics of what this is. Not worried about all the little details yet. Right? I basically just want to get this to a point where it feels like a material. Right? So I want to get the basic characteristics of what that is, so that when you look at it, you go, okay, I know without any texture or any material or anything that this is cloth and like something like this is metal, right? That's what I want to do first before I get too far into all the little details. Again, just really making sure that the characteristics of the piece get in there. Derp, I used Marvelous Designer for those. For these bad boys. That's Marvelous Designer. Actually, I have it up. There it is. Alright, just super basic pair of pants with some elastic bands to get that going. And they're like super, super, super baggy. Yep. Yep. Okay. Oops, not that one. Alright, and then actually this one, if you see here, that's not the one that I wanted. There we go. If you see here, like, so we got like one major roll that comes all the way through here, and then just a couple of minor ones. So I actually kind of want to go back. So we'll keep that one. That one's good. But what I want to do... do I plan on animating this guy eventually? No. I don't really do much animation. Or any animation. Usually as a character artist, you're not really going to do much animation. So... maybe what I'll do is... okay, so let's get a little bit bigger of a fold here. And then we'll just bring that up. So another thing is, you know, when do you do these, when is the optimum time to do these seams? And the way it looks, it's probably easier to do them after these major folds because the major folds are going to go through that area. So I want to make sure that I don't get it too parallel to this curve, because then it'll just look like it's part of the pattern. So I want to make sure that but for this character, will it be ready for animation since it's for videos? Yes, yeah. So the final asset would be retopologized, UV'd, and textured in probably Substance Painter. So the final mesh will be the in-game mesh. Yes, it will be ready to be animated, but I'm not going to be doing any animation to it. And then maybe we'll take this one and pull it up. And I always try to tell people that if something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't right. So like that, just something about that just doesn't feel right. I think it's important to kind of trust your gut and trust your eye. So maybe we can actually bring this guy out a little bit more. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably do I'll do retopo UVing, baking, and texturing on my personal stream. So yeah, follow. Hit that follow button. Thank you. Yeah, so feel free to follow me on my personal channel on here. And we'll be going through this dude. Yeah, Substance Painter. Love me some Painter. Oh man. So it looks like there's actually there's a fold that goes back around this way and kind of terminates here, and then this one comes like more up, right, around and then up and terminates into the belly, and then this one goes almost straight across. So use your concepts. That's why they're there. Remove the follow again. Yes, Maj, dude. Super glad. Yeah. Marmoset 3 baking is life, bro. So good. Okay, so we have like this one kind of coming through here. Right, and then this, they have this bigger one that actually is going to come up this way and then terminate into there. That feels a little bit better, right? And then we've got a smaller one. Yeah, the baking is just so good. Kind of come through there. Maybe gonna come up through there like that. And then we've got one kind of coming straight across. Still doesn't feel right. So sometimes, sometimes you end up doing something like this a bunch of different times just to make sure that things feel right, Because right now it's not feeling right. I'm not feeling it. I think maybe what I'll do is I'll grab this dude and I'll just kind of block in where some of these pieces would be real quick, just so that I can get the relationship of, where these terminate in comparison to where these pieces are. So I'm going to grab this guy. I'm going to do group visible. Yeah, dude, the baking is just phenomenal in Marmoset. Yes, Chestro. I actually replaced all of my baking pipeline with Marmoset 3. It's just, I guess it's okay to really kind of gloat about it because ZBrush doesn't really have baking. I mean, it does. You can bake down, but it has. So Marmoset has bake groups. It has live, almost interactive bake previews on your low res mesh with interactive cage, and interactive skew map for changing the normal direction on your bake cage. It's amazing. Amazing. But for more information, go to your local website. Alright, so the reason why I wanted to change all those polygroups to just one is so that I can use the transpose tool to just go to move and do Control Alt, and then I can just duplicate that guy real quick. Yeah, I think those things are just a touch too big, I guess. The pieces may just be a little bit too big. So what I'll do is I'll just do a global size. Come on. There we go. That should be alright. Okay. Then I can go back to my transpose tool, and then if I do control click, because these are different polygroups, if you do control click with the transpose tool, it'll automatically mask the other pieces, which is awesome. Oh, Shane's here. Hey, Shane. Mr. Olson. How you doing, buddy? Yo, what is up, man? Shane Olson, another really awesome ZBrush streamer. Just started with us not too long ago. Um, just actually launched his 3D character workshop for stylized characters. Looking awesome. Yeah, that should be alright. That should be alright. So let's do this. Yeah, man. So, Shane, dude, congratulations on launching your class or your workshop, man. It's been getting really good responses. It's awesome to see. If you guys want, actually, you know what, Shane, if you want to drop your link to your workshop, dude, in chat, please definitely feel free. He's Yeah, man, that's freaking awesome. It's always nice to have something that you've been working on really hard for a long time have a nice impact on people, especially when you're teaching. You know. All right, so then let's grab this dude. We'll go back to move. Alt check. Let's move that over here. There it is. Yes. So if you guys are interested in doing stylized 3D characters, Shane's got some awesome stuff. And don't forget to follow him on Twitch. On the Twitcherooskies. Uh-oh. Oh, oh. Let's go back to that. There we go. Yep. He's got some awesome stuff. And really, people are already starting to get some really cool results, man. That's really, really cool to see. Let's rotate this guy around this way. This stuff can be kind of a little bit pain in the ass to move and rotate and get all in the right places, but it's all worth it in the end. Just throw that up there. Okay. So yeah, the folds aren't really working too good at this point, so I think what I may do, can I go back? No. Let's just see if we can nail them here. So sometimes it just, when you spend too much time on little details like that and you just can't, things aren't working really well, sometimes I'll just go back and work on something else for a little while. Or I'll just try mixing it up a little bit, do something. I think it's the symmetry that's kind of killing me. Yeah, man. It was freaking awesome to see. Alright. Okay. Yo, Cube, what's up, buddy? Yep, working on a new character. Yes, I am. Dark Gallowikits. So, now, like, we got some interesting things happening down here that I wasn't really accounting for earlier. So, it looks like I need to either make those pieces smaller this way, or take the whole thing and bring it down some. Because you got, like, this weird intersecting thing happening. Yes, the pants were for a Marvelous Designer. Right there. Baggy. Super baggy pants. Yep, just did that real quick. So I sculpted the body. Well, sculpted the body type from a 3D scan. And then brought that over and then just threw some super baggy pants on them. And then brought those back over to ZBrush real quick. Yeah, buddy. Super easy. And it adds so much awesome fidelity to it. Thanks, man. Alright, let's see if we can just pull all this down a little bit, because it feels like those pieces are a little bit too thick. Forgot to turn my symmetry on. Let's turn on that symmetry. There we go. Yeah, see, all of this is... Just start bringing some of that down. Just push that back in. There we go. Alright, that's already feeling better. And yeah, you know, this is another good reason why you want to work low to high, is so that, I mean, if this was all high detail, it would be such a pain in the ass to try to move. And like, if I had already sculpted all this, oh man, so bad. The hates. And it wouldn't take much to go back to the original low-res piece. And then just do this again if I really need to. If things are like way too out of proportion and messed up, I can really just quickly just go back to that original lower topology before I dynameshed it. I think that's okay. This is okay. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, now that I feel like this is okay, I'm going to go through and do something similar to the other pieces, just to see if I can get back a little bit closer to the overall feel of what this guy is. Alright, so then let's grab this dude. How did you do the tube looking trim around the border? I'll show you real quick. I'm going to do it right now. So basically what I did was I just extracted. So like I'll just take yeah, got it. Okay, cool. Yes, got it. Oh no. Yes, I got it. Oh no, I can't get to that. Haha. Okay. So basically I just masked, used extract, got that particular piece. Did a Z remesh real quick, and then did panel loops. So that's how I got to that piece. So then what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that I had topology all around, right? So I had at least one edge loop going all the way around. And this particular one would have an issue right there, but because of this edge loop here, from doing the panel loops, I could just use that piece. So basically I just grabbed this dude, do Q-mesh poly loop, and then I just grabbed a piece like this, just to give it a little bit more bulk. And then before I go in Dynamesh, I'll duplicate it off. Take this one, I'm going to throw it down to the bottom. We'll turn it off. Go back to this guy, and then I can Dynamesh it. Let me try 128. Nope. Let's try 512. 512 may be too much. No, no. That's about alright. Maybe this one will do 1024. Yeah, it's fine. Let's say if you had to Dynamesh that Z meshed object, since you want to make a hole in it, how would you keep the sharp edges? So if this piece, I probably wouldn't Dynamesh it. If I was going to Dynamesh it, I would just make sure that it has enough resolution to hold those holes. That's the only way to do it. Yes, yeah, just larger poly strips, yeah. Um, so then we'll just go this real quick. Let's take a look at what that piece does. And it's similar, right? It actually has two pieces. So probably what I'll do is I'll just sculpt this bottom piece and then just dupe it up. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, not a problem at all, man. That's why I'm here. All right, so let's just create this piece real quick. Maybe we'll just smooth this out a little bit. Maybe we'll try turning back face mask off. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, Z-mount. I mean, you can even see like I'm not doing like um a lot of machined type stuff for like hard surface, but you can still use it in your pipeline for just quickly blocking things out. It's another amazing tool. So use it. Maybe another way to do is just use an inflate. Inflate might be okay. Might be better. Let's actually go back. I actually don't want to have that piece in there. It's actually kind of doing more damage. I guess what I can do is just... Yeah, that's fine. We'll just delete those real quick. And then maybe we'll just key mesh this piece out. Maybe this piece too. Oops. Stop it. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, and then maybe we'll dynamesh it again. So 1024. Dynamesh it. That feels a little bit better. And then we'll just come in here. Smooth that down a little bit. "100 ways to skin a cat" is what they say, right? Even though I don't endorse skinning cats or animal cruelty in any way. All of a sudden we're talking about skinning cats. There's just lots of different ways that you could do something. Yeah, you guys never heard of that term? I love cats. Don't get me wrong. Just saying that there's different ways to do different methods you could use for different things. Okay. So we got something like that. I grew up on a farm. That's probably why I know it and other people don't, I guess. Well, not a farm, a ranch. I grew up on a ranch. Alright, we'll maybe just smooth all this out a little bit. Yeah, it's probably America thing too. Alright, so let's get some of that nice like organic movement in it, right? So we're looking at this again, we're looking at how the direction of these. I know I'm showing my age, huh? Oh. Hair and fur solution. It really depends. I may just do fiber mesh on this dude's face. Um, I don't know how I'm going to approach it yet. Not sure. I mean, I think it's really for hair and fur. It's really um, item dependent. You know, like is it like a cape? You know, like where you have animal fur, or is it like actual beard hair, or is it like long nose hairs, or whatever. I know, right, Skullmaster? These young little whippersnappers, they don't know. All right, so we're looking at direction, right? So it's pretty much most of this edging is gonna be the same, right? We're like, if we're looking at it, it's like got different directions to the material that's making up these seams. So it's pretty much gonna be the same for all of them. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Thanks, Dave. I hadn't gone over the concept again yet. So the concept is more than one way to skin a cat. Think that's the term. Um, so here's the concept. It is from Adrian Wilkins and Tim Lochner and Andres Skuja. But this is for Horizon Zero Dawn, the Osurum, I guess is how you say it, faction. So this is the dude that I'm working from Horizon Zero Dawn. So I kind of went over this a little bit on the beginning of the stream, but for me, I think it's really handy to yeah, the concept's amazing, right? So let's go over the whole idea, right? So let's say you want to work for Guerrilla Games, or like you want to work for something of that genre where this particular style of character would come into or fit their type of art, right? So one of the big things as a character artist is like for game pipeline, you're usually not a concept designer. Those two ideologies, you almost always live differently. Um, Especially if you're doing game res type work, it's almost always different from the actual concept designer, right? Two completely different ways of practicing and thinking, all that kind of fun stuff. So, instead of spending all this time trying to design my own concept that would fit into the style of a particular um, studio I'm trying to target, why not go and get some of the awesome, amazing, director approved concepts that were actually made for the game and use those as practice, right? And then basically put yourself into a scenario where these awesome concept artists just gave you their concept and say, okay, make this an awesome game character, right? I'm doing the exact same thing as if I would be in that actual character art position in studio. So if I can work to the level that was actually produced in the game or by the other character artist, I know that I have the skills to be able to do that, right? It kind of will set me up for success in that, you know, I know the quality bar that I need to hit. If I can hit that, then I know that I can do it and I can show that I can do it, that kind of thing, right? So for me, it just makes sense to grab some concept designs from the actual game and see if I can hit that quality bar, right? I mean, you're just practicing anyways. Like, I'm not going to be selling this. I'm not, uh, making any money from it or anything like that. It's more practice, right? So why not work from super quality, amazing art director approved concepts that were already actually in the game? Go get art of books. If you want to work for 343 Industries or Bungie, go get some of their art of books and just make some of their characters. Make them look awesome. Make them look better than what's in the game. That's how you get a job. Right? I mean, I can't think of any reason why, other than going like, "Oh, this is the character that was actually in the game, and I made this, and I'm badass." And you can definitely get into trouble if you do that, right? And start boasting that, "Oh, I made this guy," and blah blah blah. You definitely want to be super super careful in that. Um, but like, right? Like, I mean, let's say if I went to Gorilla and was like, "Oh, here's, I did this in my own spare time, and what do you guys think?" They'd be like, "Cool." Like, and if I really, really nailed it, they know now that I can do the job that I would be applying for, right? And that's my art test, right? Basically. They'll probably still make you do an art test, though. Exact same advice for stylized characters. Right, exactly. I mean, it makes sense, man. If you're a environment guy, take a look at the environments for like Uncharted, or like the style of game, or the studio that you want to work for. Go get art of books that that company put out and work from there. I will say though that if you're gonna do it, um, if you're going to go to like ArtStation and like grab somebody else's concept instead of like going to like an actual studio art of book or whatever, it's always a good idea to kind of just ask, you know? Okay, I got back onto the pants. Let's grab this guy again. Sorry, rant over. Um, like you use concepts and add them to your portfolio, but credited to the artist. Yes. So like if let's say if I added this to my portfolio, 100,000% would just cover all of it. Anybody that had to do with it, right? Like I would always keep a record of where I got the concept and where they, right? So like it's super important to be like, okay, when he posted this, like he credited the couple of other people that collaborated with him, right? It's labeled Horizon Zero Dawn, those types of things. So whenever I would post this, or if I would post this to my portfolio, I would be like, this is a concept from the concept artist who worked on Horizon Zero Dawn. Um, Hold on, 1 second. Hold on. Sorry. So I would go back and make sure that I just accredited all of that. So yeah, keep track of all of the credits and make sure that anywhere that you post it, that you always give credit. It was something similar to what I did for the drone that I did. I'll show you guys real quick. So this drone that I did was initially, the high res mesh was created by Jerry Perkins. So literally wherever I post this, I'm always crediting Jerry, whoever I post it. It's almost on every single piece, just to like I would make sure, 100% sure, right? Like I post his art station, all that kind of stuff. So it's almost like a collaboration project where like my work wouldn't be able to exist without his work, and the game model wouldn't be done without my work. So it's more of a kind of a collaboration thing. So I always, always, always credit, always, always, always. Yeah, even if you want to be a weapon artist or something like that. Yeah, dude, it's like what, those concepts are there. Why wouldn't you just use one of those? I mean, granted, like if you're trying to be a concept artist, then it's probably not the best idea. But like if you're God, why am I such an issue with this piece? Um, Jesus, man. Why is this having such... But yeah, so if you're trying to be a concept artist, probably not the best idea. But if you're doing game res stuff, then uh, try to put yourself into the position of where you would be in studio. Like in studio, you would be handed that concept, and then you're like, okay, uh, that try to mimic what would be happening in studio, right? So like if you're a character art designer or if you're a character artist working on game res meshes, you would be handed a concept like this and be expected to make that character all the way through, right? Or for the most part, all the way through. If your environment, like what would that be? Thank you for 3D. Those types of things. So it's best to try to kind of like mimic what your assignment would be, right? So it just makes sense for character artists to grab concepts from art of or that kind of thing. Hello, can you guys hear me still? Okay. Is your volume? Okay, cool. Alright, so then probably what I would do is, let's actually move these closer. I want to try to get this a little bit closer here. Bring this down. And actually, like, I feel like this should be a little bit more squared off here. Something like that, maybe. It's probably actually even more. We need this to be thicker. Alright, so what we're going to do is, so probably what I would do is just grab this guy and then duplicate him and then just move him up like this and maybe just move this kind of into position. Again, it's something that's a little bit more organic, so I'm purposefully trying to move things around by hand because it just adds a little bit more to the organic feel instead of just doing like sizing and that kind of stuff. All right, and then also trying to make sure that maybe it's not even. Maybe this is actually a little bit further in. Maybe it flares up on the outside up here more. Something like that. Cool. What tablet am I using? I'm just using an Intuos 5. Yep. It's probably about that time I gotta start getting ready for work. But yeah, I think we nailed down some proportions. I feel like his overall proportions are much better. Um, I got a good fix on how I'm going to approach all of the seams, which are really important to this guy. So basically, we'll be just doing this same uh, thing for all of these seams. So once we nail down the first one, pretty much easier. And then we'll start going into probably doing some hard surface and seeing how we're going to do some of that. Adding some of this trim stuff. Maybe we'll get to the bags, start blocking those pieces out. And then we'll just continue. So I will be back. I will actually be working on this guy on my personal stream. Kind of off and on. It's weekends or maybe nights. It's a little bit sporadic right now because of work. But I would say just follow me on my Twitch page, and you will get notifications of when I do go live. Or feel free to follow me on Facebook. I usually try to post with a little bit of warning. But next time I will be on this stream will be the 15th and the 29th of June. So, what is that? 2 weeks from today? 1, 2, 3 weeks from today, and then 2 weeks after that. Yeah, Mash. Yeah, you've been around for a while, man. Appreciate the support, brother. Let's see if there's any final questions that I work. Okay, I think that's. Oh, maybe it's still irrelevant, but when someone applies as environment artist at AAA studio, what, in your opinion, is more significant factor: overall art level, perspective, color composition, or perfect execution? UVs, lights, and particles. I personally don't have a lot of experience with that as pertains to environment art. The thing that I would say probably the most important thing is that you can never really tell. Every studio that has an open position is looking for something a little bit different, and every studio has different qualifications. So I think that probably the most important thing to do is be consistent in the art that you do, the style that you do, and the level of quality that you do. And then apply to a lot of different places that fit your style that you would like to work at. And then something you will fall into somebody's perfect scenario eventually. Like, it's tough getting in. You'll get a lot of no's. Just know that it's not a no forever. It's just a no, not right now. So don't be afraid to like reapply, in 6 months or whatever. But I would say be consistent with the work that you do. Have good core concept, like art concepts, like design, rhythm and balance, all those like really good core art concepts. Have really nice presentation, and show the different like softwares that like different working methods. Break down like how you created something so that somebody can understand it a lot easier when they look at your stuff, right? So, so be consistent. Show that you know core art design, and just keep doing it. Keep going and keep going and keep going. Something will break eventually, right? I think that's the last. I think that's the last. Thanks, guys. All right, I have to go. I'm gonna be late for work. I have to run. Thank you very much for coming by. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys learned a thing or 14. But most of all, I hope you're inspired to go make your own cool stuff. So do it. Go make some cool ZBrush stuff. And if you don't have ZBrush and you're thinking about possibly getting ZBrush or trying out ZBrush, there is a trial button just below that you can go. If you're just learning ZBrush, you can go to zclassroom.com, great stuff. And there's a lot more really amazing artists coming up over the next days, weeks. So stay tuned right here. Follow Pixelogic on Twitch, and we will see you guys. Freaking rock on. See you guys.